Zarim Tovim, good afternoon. I am going to make a few thoughts known about Israel and the situation with the war overall. There's a lot of people that are surprised that Israel has taken over 2 weeks to begin the ground offensive. Actually, I'm quite pleased about that. As you may recall, I posted that Gaza was a trap and not to jump into it too quickly. But the point of it is, I think Israel is well aware that this conflict can't be limited to just Hezbollah, just Hamas, and they can't end this war with Hezbollah having thousands of missiles aimed at it. There's no way the psyche of Israelis can tolerate that. Uh, this is it's just unacceptable, and the same could be said for Iran. So I believe this delay is not just in preparation for Hamas. This is a strategic delay in order to plan and prepare, very much prepare for other offensives besides Gaza. Hopefully, proactively. I don't think we need to wait till Iran launches hundreds of ballistic missiles, or Hezbollah launches hundreds or maybe thousands of their missiles. We're going to have reasons to engage before that happens, and perhaps even entirely preemptively. So Israel is using the time. It's to Israel's advantage because only Israel knows when it's going to launch. Only Israel knows it's offensive in Gaza, and that's the big trigger for Iran and Hezbollah. So right now Israel is in the driver's seat. They've taken back that level of strategic control just by virtue of waiting. Okay, and of course, people in Gaza, the Hamas, they're dealing with the delay as well. It's not easy on them. Let's keep in mind. I think that the delay is to our advantage, and so now the question is just really when does Israel, go to step two in this war? I put up some thoughts about some known unknowns and some unknown unknowns, and the big question, the great question. And so you can look below and you'll see the posts about that, the great unknown, and let me know what you think if you want. I would say, the most powerful thing we can do individually is just pray. I mean, we're not going to change our politicians' minds in the time frame we have. We're here in our own living rooms. What can we do? What we can do is use the power of prayer. Don't underestimate it. If you have faith, that comes easy for you. If you don't, maybe now's the time to revisit your relationship with Hashem, with the Lord, and to start to examine the Bible more. I think that we get to a point where maybe that sound goes off on our phone, national warning system. Maybe we hear that a nuclear weapon has been used or multiple have been used, and we go into a state of panic. Okay. It's at that moment that you don't have time to um, kind of reason your way through what you're going to do. You have to kind of have already come to terms with it, with that relationship that you may or may not have. And I encourage you to explore that, and I'd be happy to talk to you if you want. But with your rabbi or your pastor, um, and there's a lot of resources online for that. So before you find yourself in a situation where the world is panicking, um, you know, if you're Jewish, we have the uh, at the end of Yom Kippur with the Atana Tokef, there's that feeling that the gates are closing, and there's that sort of urgent sense. Well, maybe one day it'll be that urgent sense, but in a way we really didn't hope we did really are surprised to find ourselves in. We shouldn't be so surprised, quite frankly, because this has been something that we could have seen coming. I don't want to get into the politics, but this was easily anticipated. Bibi's been warning us for over a decade now. Uh, there's a lot of us that saw this coming, and at this point, really shouldn't come as much of a surprise. But here we are, and the delay, as I say, is to my mind has worked to Israel's advantage, and now it's the point where they're going to do something. With China's warships coming into the region, I don't think that Israel wants to let um, other forces line up against it, including what is developing in cities and in countries around the world with protests. These can get violent very fast. So that's the thing that we have to expect as our own police and even National Guard, which is likely to be called up, can protect us here at home. We've made a huge mistake letting millions and millions of unknown people walk into our border. We know that many of them are criminals, and many of them are tied to the Middle East, and they are a threat to us, and we don't know who they are or where they are. So you have to be careful. In fact, that's a meeting I'll be having tonight with the Jewish Federation, is so that what are the things that we can be doing to help Israel and to be prepared at home. Alrighty, you take care. Shalom.